Okay, so to start this off, we are going to be talking to our good friend. You probably have seen them in chat before. Their name is Bottom Politics. Now, Bottom Politics is a trans man YouTuber, content creator. I found him not too long ago, and he seems like a pretty cool dude. We talked before, and he asked about my opinions on masculinity, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to bring him on stream to talk to him about something along those lines. Yes, his name is. Get it out of the way. Get out of the way now. Yes, his name is Bottom. I'm not sure if he wants me to just call him Bottom. I guess I guess we'll figure it out as we go along. I haven't asked about that yet. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Bottom Pepe laugh. All right, let me bring him on. I think it'll be a fun talk.
What's up?
Hey, dude, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing just fine. So, can you introduce yourself to the class while also giving pronouns and all of that fun stuff that I know they'll complain about me. They'll complain about if I don't, say it now.
Yeah, you're good. I go by Power Bottom Politics on YouTube. You can follow me there. My pronouns are he, him. I'm working on making my voice lower, but like you're just gonna have to deal with my high pitched ass voice for now as I work on that. But yeah, that's pretty much me. And my Twitter is like P Bottom Politics, but I basically just make like left leaning YouTube videos and stuff. I'm here with my boyfriend too, so yeah.
Oh, he's here with us.
I mean, I got my earbuds in, but yeah, he's here.
Tell him I said hi and I love him.
He says hi and he loves you.
I love you too.
He says he loves you too. So
thank you. I needed that today. Well, I'm happy for all that. So can I ask, how did you find my channel?
Kind of through just like I guess you could say bread tube pipeline almost. It started ironically with Hunter Avalone, because I used to follow him back in the right wing time. And then from Hunter I found Vosh, and then from Vosh I kind of found you and like a bunch of other people. But I specifically like your content because you're actually funny.
Well, listen. Well, don't come on here and try to burn my bridges with the other content creators. Okay, Bottom. You can do that on your own time. All right.
No. Everyone else is also funny, but you're especially funny.
So yes, everybody. Yes, they're so funny. Haha. I love them. I love my guys. Hey Voss. Hey Ian. How you doing, bud? I know you're watching. Hey, but
yeah. Facts.
So do I just call you Bottom? Or would you like another name?
Well, by? my new name is like since coming out is Oliver, so you can call me Oliver if you want.
Okay.
Bottom works too, though.
Sure, it's whatever. No problem. I just wanted to ask.
Whatever.
Just to make
yeah.
Sure. So
I appreciate it.
No problem, Oliver. So you wanted me to talk about my ideas on like masculinity and stuff like that. Could you tell the audience and let me know what you really wanted to talk about?
Yeah, so I tweeted out, I mean, time doesn't exist on Twitter, so I don't know how long ago it was, but like I tweeted out not too long ago that I like, I have nothing but like love for all my femmes and trans femmes, but I like really, really wanted to see more masculinity represented in leftist spaces. And it got a surprising amount of likes. I didn't expect it to like, go off like that. It wasn't like viral or anything, just more likes than I usually get. And I know you retweeted it and I liked what you had to say. So I DM'd you because I just wanted to like, I was curious about hearing more from you about like that sort of thing. I'm surprised at how little it's talked about in leftist spaces. I think Vosh is really the only one I've ever heard like address masculinity at all. And he reps the beard and everything like that. He's pretty masculine out there. So like I'm just curious as to like what other people think on like masculine representation in leftist spaces, I guess.
Sure, no problem. That's the tweet where I think I quote tweeted you and I said, "Say it with your whole chest, boy." Is that right?
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah.
You got the tweet? Oh, thank you. I could just pull it up. Beautiful. Don't be sorry. Say it with your whole chest, boy. Femmes take up too much of the spotlight. You can't turn a corner without seeing another one, and they're always bottom posting. It's sick. They're sucking all the air out of the room, and it's our boys' turn with the talking stick. So this is what I had to say. All right. And I know the femmes are definitely molding and crying and pissing and shitting their pants, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like what I had to say at the beginning of the stream. There's too many gay people, and they've just become like the face of the LGBT, even though there's so many other letters and identities out there. There's too many femmes, and they're sucking all the air out of the room. So I do agree. I do think that I'll say, like, when you said originally, you kind of took like Vosh, right? And I guess he's like, just I guess, if you just saw a picture of him. I guess he's more like archetypically masculine. He's he's like he's like 6'1". He has a beard and everything, but like obviously masculinity goes far deeper than that. And I think like a more holistic view of masculinity would move away from more physical features, and I think that would do a lot for the way not only just like how a lot of
very real.
Cis guys would be able to view themselves, but like trans guys like yourself as well, without that expectation. Because I do know 100%, as growing up as just, you know, as your average cis guy, as someone who's I'm not like super tall. I'm just like 5'9", pretty average, like 5'8", 5'9", about there. I haven't gotten like 100% measured in a while, so I think I'm about 5'8", 5'9", and it seems like when I measure up to people, I'm about that size too, right? And so like there aren't like a whole lot, but there are like a fair amount of women who are taller than me and stuff like that, and that would be seen as like less masculine. And obviously you've probably experienced or like seen that things like height, things like not being able to grow a beard, right, are big things when it comes to big things that are used to like emasculate men all over.
Yeah, definitely. Even before I ever came out, which was a pretty recent thing, in comparison to the rest of my life, I did always have like a lot of male friends, like cis heterosexual like male friends and stuff. So I definitely got to hear like a different perspective as far as like what masculinity means to them and that kind of thing. And the truth is yeah, there's pissing contests, yeah, there's like dick measuring contests and all that, like they try and compete and stuff, but I think you can have competition and it not be a bad thing. And like I see a lot of I'm actually kind of like working on a video, like hopefully soon, to like put out just about like differentiating between just masculinity and toxic masculinity, because for me as a trans dude, like I try and like tweak everything about myself to like send the message to people that I'm a guy so that they don't misgender me and that kind of thing. So even if it means having like a pink wallet or something like that, like I want to change the color of that wallet, or like I want to make sure that I fit into like the archetypical like patterns of a guy so that people don't misgender me. But a lot of people might look at something like that and see it as like a toxic thing. Like, oh, what, like your masculinity is so fragile that you can't like carry around a pink wallet. Like, well, for me, it's different. Like, well, I maybe not even different, but for me, it's just like I have to send those signals, you know? And so it puts me in an interesting position where it's like, I have like the experiences of a woman, but acting as a guy now, I start to realize, well, maybe not realize, but I start to like see more of like the male hatred that a lot of men get for seemingly no reason. I get that, like, you know, there's a lot of like men who are predators and that kind of thing, but I don't think we can really even trust like all of the statistics when it comes to male abuse, considering how few people speak out on it. I don't know if I'm rambling right now or if like my point is coming across. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you. We can talk about some of those things in a moment. We could stick on the representation in like lefty spaces though. So
right.
You've definitely noticed, and I've noticed too. There's a lot of femme presenting people around.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've like thought about when it comes to when it comes to like guys and how other people would like them to perform specifically, in spaces like these, it seems like a lot of the time that comes with the idea that, oh, to perform that's in a way that's more, I guess, like interesting, right? I guess is how a lot of people want to see it, or more like attractive or alluring or something like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're a guy and you're masculine, but just like throw more femininity on top of it. And they're just like, yeah, what
Yeah.
about that? But just keep adding more femininity, right? Right.
Yeah, pretty much. I had
Go ahead.
I made some sort of like, oh sorry, you cut out there for a second.
No,
Were
go
you
ahead.
still talking?
Go ahead.
Okay. I made it like kind of a spicy joke like a little while after that initial tweet that like you retweeted, where I basically said, gee, what was it? Like bitches would fuck a tree if it was wearing a dress, but the second they have to praise masculinity, they're all gender abolitionists.
Damn. Jeez.
I was a
Listen,
little bit salty, but yeah, like
a little, well, tell us how you really feel. Goodness. But I can get it, because in a lot of ways, a lot of guys have been, well, in a lot of ways, like masculinity's been it is like very fragile, right? And so like you get a little bit out of like into the weeds, you do like a little bit something, and now all of a sudden everybody thinks that you're so much different than just like being like just a guy, right? You're not like just a guy
yeah,
anymore. You're like a guy plus, or I guess some people would say like guy minus. Uh
right,
we get into that like another time though, right?
right,
And it's I think it can be good to like praise guys for moving out of just like a singular box and everything, but I think sometimes it can go like a bit far. I'm not sure if you've seen the video on it, but I did it a while ago, and it was kind of spurred on by two things. There was one tweet that said, well, there was one TikTok that said, if you're a guy and you like don't want to be seen as gay, or you don't want to be seen as gay, or you don't want to be seen as like a woman, you're like homophobic. Which, and I was like, that's kind of fucked up for like no reason. Can't you just not want to be
yeah.
something while also not hating those types of people? And then there
Well,
was
yeah.
another video that was put out, and it was on, what's the movie called? It's about those two boys, and one is like a mermaid, like a fish boy. Luca, is that it?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's the one.
Yeah, Luca. There was this person, and she made a video about it, and she came out and she was like, the reasons for why Luca is 100% a gay movie. And I'm like, and so
Oh boy.
this kind of turned into the, and once again, like it's fine for all those things, but it kind of seems like we moved from guys can't be like emotional and have like sensitive moments with each other without being gay, and that's derogatory. And we've moved to guys
This
can't
meme
have
is very
sensitive
real.
and intimate moments with each other without being gay, and now it's like like positive, right? They're like, whoa, so pug. But now it can't just, there's no like nuance there. It kind of reminds me of how a lot of people think that like a guy and a girl can't be friends without like wanting to fuck each other or something. It's now like these guys, they don't have the ability still to not be complex people without being like without 100% being in like one box or the other. Like they have to either like sit in a hot tub 6 feet apart because they're not gay, or like if they give each other a hug and they're like crying together after like a difficult moment, then oh dude, they're really waiting to they're really waiting to fuck each other real hard. You feel me?
Right. Right. It's like behind every male and like every positive male interaction, there's like a femme fangirl just like waiting for them to kiss. You know.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. I mean that can
Yeah.
definitely happen sometimes. And
Well,
so like
yeah. I mean that's yeah.
I feel like a lot of that, um, and how this space has been sometimes for a while kind of like demonizes masculinity. I think it really can every now and again. I remember specifically like you know House on Pecker, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you know that Hassan, back when he worked for TYT, he had a catchphrase?
I did not know that.
Yeah, his catchphrase was "You just got piked."
Oh
And
shit.
how do you like that? How does that make you feel?
That's really funny. I don't know why.
It's real good. Yeah, he would just do some like
Yeah,
on the ground reporting, and he'd look in the camera and be like, "That's all from me. You just got piked." And I was just like, "Damn, dude.
that's
Okay,
great.
all right then. Make it happen." But
Right,
yeah, I remember specifically there was this. And a lot of people, they fiend for Hassan. They're horny for Hassan and everything. It gets a little out of hand every
right.
now and again. But I remember specifically there was this one girl streamer who looked at him and she was like, "Yeah, he's like," she was like, "Yeah, he's hot and everything, but I'd be scared that he would just like try to beat me to death. He looks like really mean, right?" Eh,
What?
yeah, I know, right? And
Yo,
I
there's a lot of shit I'd say about Hassan, but being a wife beater is not one of them. Like,
And it wasn't anything about his personality. It was just that he's like big and seen as masculine, right? Because he's pretty
yeah,
big. What?
exactly.
How big is Hassan? Like my man's, he is built like a thwomp, and isn't he like 6'3", 6'4", or something? He's real big, and he works out a lot.
Yeah.
He's seen as like pretty archetypically masculine. Yeah, he's about like, yeah, he's 5'11". Yeah, 100%.
Oh
Shaq
shit.
standing next to Hassan. That's basically the difference between 5'11" and 6 foot. Many people are saying
Damn.
this. Yeah, but yeah, she was just like, yeah, well, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but she did say that she feels like scared about him like hurting her, right? Because he's like that. And I feel like a lot of guys see stuff like that, and we've been like really comfortable saying stuff like that because masculinity has been used as like a big cudgel for a long time against different types of people, that we've just gone
Yeah.
to masculine is can also be like a synonym for violent, angry, a lot of this type of stuff. And a lot of people have a lot of bad connotations with guys who are like just masculine, even if they're like fine with being feminine every now and again. If they're
Yeah.
mostly masculine, they can be seen sometimes in like this space, though they can get like a decent amount of heat for like who they are and lumped in with like worse people who use their masculinity to hurt other people.
I definitely agree. Like I think the especially in leftist spaces, like the reaction to masculinity is kind of to, I don't want to say like silence it because that's a bit dramatic, but they kind of like stifle it out and just kind of
Nah,
ignore it.
say it
It
with your
seems
whole
like,
chest. If you think it's silencing, say it's silencing. Don't go easy on
you
these
know
people.
what?
The femmes
I'm
have
being
been
1984.
go
I'm
ahead. The
being
femmes have
1984
been
out
in
here, bro.
charge for too long. You don't have to silence yourself anymore, okay? You don't have to you
Damn
don't have
right.
to bend genuflect at the altar of the cancel culture mob. If you feel
Damn
silent, say
right.
you're silent. There's a big reason why I want to have you on as a trans mask voice. So if you think you're silenced, I want to hear
Hell
it.
yeah. I kind of do actually. Like it's not like it's kind of like the way I was bullied in high school, a little bit of a self-report there, but it's pretty much more like it's not really like being shoved into a locker or being like spammed with hate. It's more like you just get avoided and it's just like kind of softly like it's kind of just like softly put to death. Like you'll get people, and I've got followers that support me, I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful for the support that I've gotten, but no shot. I have no shot against like some of these like beautiful like femmes and trans femmes out there who like they could say that they took a shit and like everybody's like, yeah, fuck yeah. Again,
Yeah, who
like
they're like, I support women's rights and I support women's wrongs type
yeah,
thing.
exactly. That's actually a great way to put it. And I think like through kind of avoiding it, like the message is still sent, even though there's not like a huge like hate mob against it. The thing for me is like you go into like look at any post where it's like a woman saying something like shitty about a guy. Oh, like they can't dress themselves, like oh they don't know how what like lotion to use on their face or like they should all just go die in wars. I saw something similar to that like the other day. And you go in the comments and anytime a guy says anything like hey this is wrong or like hey this hurts my feelings, like every reply is just oh boo-hoo, why don't you cry about it, what are you so insecure, blah blah blah. And I'm like bro, like I thought the left was against this idea that like men had to like keep their emotions down, but like anytime it becomes inconvenient for them to like be empowered by themselves and like take criticism and responsibility, then suddenly like they're willing to just like be enabled and like I guess I want to say shitty behavior towards men. Like it's like you'll a lot of I get the sense a lot of people want to be empowered only when it's convenient. And I feel like that a lot of this comes from a natural fear of men and like at least masculine men, which I think can be tied back to the same beliefs that turfs go with. Like turfs believe that anything with a penis is pretty much a predator. That's why the homophobic and transphobic arguments against gay men and trans women for so long were like they're predators, you know? And I think it's this like it's because of this like essentialist mindset that takes anything that is masculine, assumes that it has a penis, and then says that that's predatory, you know? And that fear kind of like permeates the entire like leftist space, because then you know, because the left wants to like protect those that are like vulnerable, and kind of like a side effect of that is a lot of masculine people who genuinely need help don't get it.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't know, the thing is, like, for me, I get it in my community a little bit. I love my community. They're all great. I don't know if you've spent like too much time there, but I do love them to death. They're very good.
Oh
But
yeah.
I do know I have noticed 100% if I perform like any sort of like femininity, everyone's going crazy. Now,
Yeah.
it could be these two things, okay? And I'm not like faulting any, like I'm not faulting any of you guys for it, okay? But because I know some of you all feel called out. It could be you want to make guys feel okay about expressing themselves in different ways every now and again to make them feel like good about themselves. Right? And a lot of you guys, I don't know, may just be horny. and that's just like shit that you like, right? And that's fine as well. But a lot of the times we can like implicitly disregard implicitly put down guys like performing masculinity in like good ways and not like necessarily reforming it, and like kind of abandoning a lot of parts of it. We can like reward them for that with things like praise, and that's happened with like a couple of guys. There's like some phenomenon with I don't want to say like TikTok e-boy, but a little bit like with that being way bigger these days, and like guys expressing like a lot more femininity these days, not always because
absolutely.
they really like it, but because it could give them like better chances when it comes to like dating. And that happens every now and again, which I think is like kind of unfortunate in the sense that it's like you are looking for like who you want to be and how you want to be like seen. And I don't know, like personally for me, I feel the happiest when I'm seen as masculine. When I come back from like the gym or something and I'm like, oh, my shoulders look extra broad today. Oh, like my chest feels like extra deep today. Like I wake up and I have like a much like deeper voice, or people like compliment like, oh, your voice sounds so nice today. Like shit like that.
Yeah.
Or we talked about it before. You did like a thread of what makes you feel happy when you're what makes you feel happy in like your masculinity. And I was like, when I can be like that rock for somebody, like when their life is
Exactly
like going all wacky topsy turvy, but I can give them that like confidence, and I can give them that like sense of like foundation in their life. I feel like that's an amazing thing for me, and that makes me feel very validated. But I wanted to ask, like, with you, what's been your experience when it comes to masculinity and your transition, and how you perceive like the like bred to be like lefty space?
So, as far as like my experience with masculinity and transitioning goes, a haircut definitely goes a long way. So does a binder. Um, I will say
Also,
that
yes,
one
people just ask to
experience
come on
that
stream.
definitely comes from the lack of masculinity in the leftist community is that my only source for help or advice or information or pretty much anything was Reddit. Which like if I have to ask people on Reddit for answers because I don't feel like anybody else will
Oh
give them to
no,
me. I know, I think that's a
we
bit of a red
failed.
flag. Just like,
Anything but
but
having
like,
to go to the redditors for help.
luckily they have like some very like supportive female to male trans communities, you know. So I've definitely like it's definitely been beneficial. It's just unfortunate that It's not like any, like a when a trans woman comes out, like, the people will help her with her makeup and that kind of thing. Like, there's
Yeah.
really nothing like that for like trans men. It's at least in my experience, it's been much harder to find resources on like how to dress like a guy or how to pass like a guy. So
Mhm.
that's definitely been like a difficulty. I also feel like especially the voice is difficult to like master and get down, especially when I'm at work every day. Like, I don't want people to think that I'm a girl or anything like that. I would say it definitely, like, the more I look back on my childhood, especially like my teenage years, the more I realize like how traumatizing it was in certain senses, and also just like how many signs there were that I didn't ignore, excuse me, that I didn't know about, or wasn't able to identify because I was not like properly educated on like trans issues or what being trans was. I didn't really understand the concept of being trans till I was like maybe 16, 17 years old. And I kind of, when I found out about it, I initially knew that that was me, but I come from a very like conservative background, so that got shut down in my mind instantly. So I just kind of like walked around in like massive denial for a while. So uh knowing it about myself now makes me feel like a whole person. It's a weird experience. I've tried to describe it before, but it kind of just feels like you don't have a body when you like don't feel like you're in the right body, basically. So cool fun fact: not educating your children on trans rights and trans issues doesn't actually make the dysphoria go away. Um, I forgot the second part of your question. It was about like my experience in lefty spaces, correct?
Yeah, your experience and like your ideas of like masculinity and what you've observed after being in this space.
Okay, cool. So as far as that goes, I would say like definitely supportive. I don't think I could have come out without some of the people that I've met online saying that, like reassuring me that they would be there for me, and like that no matter what I choose to do in the end, they'll still be there, and they'll still support me. I think that meant a lot, especially because I had never really received that kind of support in my real life, aside from my partner, of course. Um
Yeah,
so
don't
that
leave
was
him out.
definitely really sorry, what?
Yeah, don't leave him out.
Oh, no. He's right here. He's listening. He's chilling. So I was like, definitely shout out to him. He's been a game changer for sure.
The real
But
one.
a, it's definitely a real one. Um, Otherwise, like I have definitely not received any hostility, and I think that like the longer I work on it and the more I'm able to pass, people will probably take me more seriously because like you got that male privilege. But I will say that it does sometimes feel incredibly lonely, especially when I see some people more willing to talk about like and again, you said say it with my whole chest, so I'm gonna say it like, uh, I see some people more willing to talk about trans dear people than they are willing to talk about trans men. Um, so
Yeah.
I see a
Well,
lot of willingness
well,
to go into like different
well. For
areas.
one, sure, but well, for one, like the whole like uh um well the whole like neogender, well, xenogender thing was
Yeah,
like baited for a while. So, and
yeah, and
I think we've just
I
kind of
will not
forgotten about a
insult
lot of
people
trans
who
guys.
protest me. Sorry, what?
I feel like we've got forgotten about a lot of trans guys, but I remember like coming up into
Yeah.
the space, I didn't really know any of them. It was just filled with
Mm.
like almost like just trans women and very, very,
Yeah.
very few trans men around like at all. And
I,
I'm not, and I've heard like a
yeah.
lot of reasons for that. Now it's either like it's typically it's like, well, in this community it's more like a male based community, and when you're growing up and you're trans, like you don't typically change like all of your hobbies and the things that you like. So if you were in like the space before, you like some of these things before, you're more likely to stick around there. So there's more like trans guys on places like Tumblr and stuff like that,
Right.
and Instagram than there are like trans women. And it's like the inverse, so we just don't see them that often. Do you think that's about true?
That is I do think that makes sense. I'm not really on on Tumblr or Instagram that much, so I can't really speak to that. But I definitely see a lot of like especially like trans like femboys and that kind of thing, like the more feminine trans boys on like TikTok sometimes, or sometimes they show up on my Pinterest or that kind of thing. Um, I'm like an old ass grandpa. I go on Pinterest, but like
I know a
yeah.
lot of people who love Pinterest. I go on there every now
Oh,
and again.
it's fire. It's fire. I love that website. But yeah, I definitely see uh those excuse me. I definitely see more like trans dudes on like those websites. I
Yeah.
think I think when it comes to advocacy and especially Twitter, because a lot of leftist Twitter is dedicated to like advocacy or speaking on issues. I do think that ha- uh, like the lack of trans men in that community is a problem, because I think a lot of people get away with misandry. I think that's how you pronounce it. I think a
Yes.
lot of people get away with misandry because of the lack of trans men standing up for themselves and saying like, "Yo, that's fucked up." You know, like you can only get away with hating on a gender for so long until transgender people come in and say, "Hey, you can't fucking do that." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
100%.
like yeah, that's definitely an issue that I see is there's a lot of like a lot of the things that you would never say to a woman, people say like freely about men. And I think that like I said before, the second a man like emotionally responds to that, they're like put down for showing their emotions about it.
Yeah, 100%. We still have I mean, like we talk about it every now and again how like women's place when it comes to upholding like the patriarchy and everything. And I've seen a lot of things like I don't know. I've seen a lot of things and I feel like it's a little weird. It's like I've heard some things like, and you can tell me what you think, like trans men will lead the revolution to reforming masculinity, where I mean it can, but I feel like it like what that idea comes with it, that like trans men are somehow like fundamentally different than like a bunch of like cis
Yeah.
guys, right? And it kind of just forgets about like, you know, women's place when it comes to upholding the patriarchy. And I'm like, well, I'm not sure if that's necessarily true. I'm pretty sure like a trans guy has just about as much ability to be like a shitlord as a cis guy.
This meme is
even
very real.
even though
Yeah.
they, you
And
know,
a trans woman has just as much of an ability to be a shitlord as like a cis woman too. I mean,
true
like you
women, am I
think
right?
about like the you think about the connotations that white woman has. Like when you call someone a
Oh
white
no.
woman, that's that's usually like a like an insult. You know what I'm saying? But if you say a trans white woman, suddenly everybody's like, you know, it's like, oh, that's like more fine or anything, or something like that. Gee, damn, that sounded a bit reactionary. I promise, like, I'm not some sort of like, you know, bigot or anything like that.
Okay, I mean, you say you're not a bigot. I don't know, I guess we'll figure this out.
I'm only
So
bigoted against my own kind, which is bottoms. So
So why do you hate trans women? Why do you want to kill all trans women? Can you like explain that for me? Because that's what you said in the DMs when you said you wanted to talk. You said that they were cringe and you've had enough.
look, man, you just look at Big Red one too many times and you just lose your fucking cool. I'm gonna shit one right into my like don't tread on me boxers. You know what I'm saying? It's
Oh,
like
listen,
I'm just
listen. Okay, I've been doing so much to get the trans women on my side. We love our girlies in chat. Okay, they're okay. You know, could be worse. 100% could be
put on
worse.
some eyeliner and you'll have them all. I'm
I've
sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
there it's hard, like I can't do eyeliner and I'm not gonna like buy eyeliner. That seems like a lot. That seems like a whole lot of work for just like a single meme, you know what I mean? Like I did like 2 whole femboy streams and everything.
Oh shit.
I did. Yeah, I did 2 whole femboy streams, but like having to go out and like buy my own like thigh high socks and skirts was already enough.
It is a lot of effort. I will say in the past I've been through phases where I was like, "Oh, I'm like ready to be feminine now and I'm ready to be a real woman now." And it lasted about a week, but there were times where I would throw away all my clothes and get like nice girly clothes from Target, and it's definitely a lot of work. I will say I give women a lot of respect for like the amount of work that they go through to present themselves every day, not even always by their own choice, because like society has a lot to do with that. But I
So
sincerely
true,
respect it, having to
so
like
true.
having tried to keep up with that, like it's definitely not for me. I have no idea how they do it. My sister is like really, really pretty, and I'm just like blown away by how she manages to take care of herself like that. Like it's not for me,
True.
that's for sure.
That's enough of dick sucking women though. So
Yeah, yeah.
on that note, when it comes to the representation that you would like to see of masculinity on the left, what do you think? What comes to mind?
Um, so this might sound like a really funny thing because they're a little bit more normies, but have you ever heard of like Tiny Meat Gang, like Noel Miller and Cody Ko?
Oh yeah, short kings.
Yeah, the Short Kings. So they I've been fans of them for a long time, and actually, when Noel came to my city,
My
I actually
shitty.
went to one of his shows. Yeah, my shitty
Was he as
to my
funny and as
shitty
short
city.
in person?
He actually was. I never really thought about how short he like because they talk about how short they are. I didn't actually realize they weren't joking. So like when he came to my city, we had like front row seats. Like he was interacting with us as like part of his bit or whatever.
Yeah, and while he was standing on
And
stage and you were sitting down in the crowd, he was like at eye level with you. Is that right?
not exactly, but that would have been funny if he was. But he definitely is short. What I'm getting at really is just that like they've done a lot of like leftist advocacy without even really like making it about leftist advocacy. But they like some of their like that's cringe episodes. They really target toxically masculine people. There's some that I don't know if they did it together, but I know Cody's done a lot of jokes about like pickup artists and like guys that think they can just get all women. And I know they've done some stuff together where they're like making fun of like the Sigma male grind set stuff. And even their podcast, they make a lot of jokes about like those toxic masculine, like excuse me, those toxically masculine traits that we see a lot of the time. But I think it's done like really tastefully, and it's never done in a way that is like
This meme is very real.
denigrating men or like demeaning men as a concept, because both of them are pretty like excuse me, both of them are pretty confident and masculine, like in the way they present themselves and in the way they act. And I think that we need more of that on the left, without having some of the shitty takes that Hassan has. I do like Hassan for a lot of reasons.
Oh yeah, you like him
And
for a
one of
lot of
them
reasons.
is
All right.
well, number one, his dick. I'm kidding, but
Oh,
like,
oh no.
no, 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 no. He's actually not my type. I like him because he's masculine and because I think that a lot of people will come in, um, like because he presents himself as so masculine. And even if he has like some dumb takes, and even if he's not like I don't. It sounds condescending for me to not call him like the brightest person, but like,
He's not the
I
sharpest tool in
think
the shed, you say?
he's not. Yeah, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but the fact that he is open about his beliefs and that he's still unapologetically himself, I think does add value to the left. You know what I mean? And I think seeing more of that will be like helpful. And I think as I pass more as a man and
This
as I
meme is
make more
very real.
content, hopefully I can add to that to that wave of like more masculine leftist people, so that like the average masculine cis guy in America doesn't feel like Jordan Peterson is their only option when it comes to feeling validated.
Sure, 100%. I feel like, and you can tell me what you think about this. I feel like a lot of the times, it's kind of like we're on kind of we're on a bunch of extremes, right? So it's like men, and they'll be really praised for being let's say like Hassan levels of just like traditionally attractive. So you'll be, like really defined jawline, tall, like muscular, thick, right? That type of guy.
Yeah.
A deeper voice. And or you'll be the sort of like Ben Shapiro masculine, where you're just like a bad person and you say masculinity is great, and you use your what you lack in physical I'm forgetting the word, but like what you lack in like physical ability you make up for with your giga big brain and you knowing all of the right things and stuff like that, things like Jordan Peterson as
Yeah.
well. Or you'll be like a femboy, right? And those are like the big things that are like really praised. I
Yeah.
guess it's a bunch of extremes, but like you're just average dude who like wears basketball shorts and he may be like a little chubbier or whatever, and he's just like your average dude, and he may have like a little bit of anxiety, and he plays games, and he's just like, it's like 99% of the population. That guy is just like,
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, he's like a
lot of
normal
times.
human being, you know?
Yeah, like a
as
normal,
somebody
yeah,
who's,
like a normal person is just like not good enough sometimes. I don't know, like how do you feel about that? In have you
Oh
ever thought
no,
about
I
that before?
absolutely agree. Now, granted, I went through a female puberty and all that, but
You mean a shark?
having said
Yes,
that,
I'm talking about myself specifically. Honestly, I do think I fall into the I do think I fall into the category, like unironically, I do think I fall into the category of just like your average dude. Hell no, I'm not like Hassan. I don't look like him whatsoever, and I don't think I'm like Ben Shapiro or Jordan Peterson, and I'm not a femboy. So I do think that I fall within that realm of like the 99% guys.
uh I will say, like, one dude to another, you're pretty good looking, bro. I will say that much. Like, you're definitely gonna find like a hot wife. I don't know what I don't know if you're into like the cute waifu types or like the muscle women, but like, you know, you'll find
Cute
what you're looking
waifu
for. I promise.
Oh, I mean,
Um,
I appreciate it. I personally think that I'm very average. I think for most people, they'd say I'm like a 4 or 5, and that's what I think of myself as. But I mean, I appreciate it.
I
You
mean,
are a good looking
I've
person
always
yourself.
well, thank you. I've always been somebody, and I say this like literally unironically. I definitely am very attracted to people with like a good personality. So I would say you're more than a 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? Because like you're funny, you're intelligent, you've got all this other stuff going on. So you know
I
that's just my
see.
opinion.
It's
But
like the whole. I mean, he's emotionally attractive. I feel you. I get it. I appreciate it.
whoa.
No, it's you don't have to. You don't have to explain yourself. It's fine. You said you only have an hour. We don't have to get on to weird tangents or anything. It's fine. I get it. I get what you
Over an
mean.
hour, we're good. Yeah, if we go over an hour, we're good. But no, I mean it's shit. What was your question again? Fucking hell, I'm a little spaced out today.
That guys are only allowed to express,
Oh
and
yeah,
they're
yeah,
only
yeah.
like really praised at being at the extremes.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. I will say, like, I definitely think that's a problem. And I have gone through a female puberty myself, and I thought I was, you know, a woman for a very long time. I will say that I was definitely blessed in those situations because even if I was a little chubbier or if I wasn't like in perfect shape, people would still want to have sex with me or they would still want to talk to me, and like I wasn't like seen as ugly by any means, you know.
Yeah, I think femininity just generally in society is more highly valued than masculinity is, in the sense of like,
Definitely.
if we're gonna use dating marketplace, but in like, you know, dating culture or whatever, your average
Yeah,
woman will probably
absolutely.
have, I guess, more market value than just like your average guy typically will.
Definitely. I mean, like you ask any guy, they always want one part of the female body to be thick, whether it's like the ass or the boobies or even the tummy sometimes, you know, like or the thighs. Like there's always something that some part of you where it's like it's acceptable, you know. Whereas for guys, like you definitely have a harder time if you're not in perfect shape and if you don't look like 100% your best. And I
Yeah,
think if
except for
more
I guess
people
like the
speak
dad
out on
bod
this,
craze,
like
or like the dad bod sort of um movement
yeah,
that was around for a
I
bit.
think that's a good start, definitely. Like people being more into that. It's similar like when geez, what was it exactly? It's like when I feel like there was a similar period of time where like bigger girls were seen like similarly, where it was like everybody was into that. And like nowadays, like I feel like it's like leveled out a little more, but I'm kind of crossing my fingers, and maybe it's wishful thinking that like over time the same thing will happen with men, where it's like the ideal body type isn't like fucking either Harry Styles or Jason Momoa, you know, where it's like you can kind of have like a middle ground where like more guys are seen as acceptable as like a partner.
Yeah, 100%. I honestly, I think that's like analogy with like Harry Styles or Jason Momoa when it comes to like guys being praised at the extremes. So how tall is Jason Momoa? Isn't that bitch like 6'5" or something? He like weighs the same amount as like a Honda motorcycle. He's like absolutely
He
massive, right?
he's insane. And honestly, between Harry Styles and Jason Momoa, I'm more attracted to Jason Momoa. Like I'm very attracted to masculinity. So like I have a bit of an ulterior motive for advocating for this, not just for myself, but also because I want to see more hot guys. So like, you know what I'm saying?
True.
It's kind of
Also,
like
I mean,
I'm a little biased.
I do fear a little bit for Harry Styles. I'm not sure if you heard, but not Jeffree Star. It's the other gay one, James Charles. He
James
was like,
Charles.
yeah, he was hunting for him at the Met
Oh
Gala,
shit.
and I was like, that
No.
sounds horrifying, right? Yeah, he was
Oh,
like
that's
he
how
was
you know Harry Styles is straight because I've heard that's the only thing James Charles goes after. But
true. He was hunting him for a couple reasons. I think maybe one, he wanted to fuck him, but also definitely he wanted to farm him for content because he
yeah,
was like, I'm looking for James Charles. I'm looking for Harry Styles. I want to ask him about his sexuality, while my man probably just wanted to chill.
bro.
It's
Yeah,
like the
like
second that you do anything that's even like a little bit less just like archetypically masculine, it's now like you now become like a zoo exhibit that everybody wants to ask you about everything. They want to know about if you suck dick, how you suck dick, how excited you are when you suck dick, also
yeah,
what your taste in men are, what your taste in dick is, and also can I do your nails. It's like that type
exactly.
of stuff.
Like and I, bro, I completely agree with you. I think it's actually kind of funny. I wonder if this is how women felt when they first started wearing pants. If like they had just had like swarms of women like running up to them the second it was socially acceptable to wear
What's it
pants
like
as a
to wear
woman.
pockets?
Yeah, yeah. Like what's it like to fuck girls? Like do you like eating pussy? Like what kind of pussy do you like to eat? You know what I'm saying? It's like what kind of sides do you like with that pussy when you eat it? Because like if you're wearing pants, well you must be a man or some shit like that. Like I wonder if it's similar. I'm not a historian, so I don't know. But
I'm also not a pussy
like
historian. I don't see it very often, so I don't know too much. But I mean, I would
same.
imagine that you're probably not too far off base, 100%.
Yeah.
Um,
I will say one more thing. Like, well, I mean, I it's something I picked up on. I don't know if you watched my Abby Shapiro video. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. It's like 37 minutes long. But there was this weird thing that I kept seeing pop up in that video, and one of the reasons why I labeled it like as dangerous and predatory was because of her attitude towards men. And I feel like this is something that the left doesn't realize and that they could really capitalize off of if they paid more attention, which is that the right doesn't actually give a fuck about men. They tote people like Jordan Peterson around to like make it seem like they do because they know that men are in an incredibly vulnerable position right now, partly because of capitalism and social expectations. Men are seen as like the people that are supposed to get the bread, like be the breadwinner, take care of the family. And with heightened like economic pressures, that shit really takes a toll on your mind, you know? Like when you've got like several different people all relying on you for different things, and you also have to like get money and put food on the table, and like the government is fucking you at every step of the way. Like it puts a mental toll on you, and I think that the right now is taking advantage of that to get more votes so they can make that problem even worse. It's not like the right is it like in favor of empathy or compassion or advocating for any policies that would make a man's job in the society easier. It would literally like anytime they are in power, it just makes it worse for men. And I think the fact that like they have such a like huge male demographic really shows that the left has failed on some front when it comes to like advocating for like the actual equality of men and women in society and making sure that men as well as women get what they need so that they can continue to like happily thrive in a society instead of feeling like they're constantly under attack. Like you know how like women get compared to like the body expectations of like a model on a magazine. men's like social expectations are to all be Elon Musk, you know, like rich as fuck, like making inventions all the time, being able to take them out to dinner. Like it's like the social expectations for men may not always be physical appearance, but there's definitely like an expectation of status and financial gain as well that men have to face.
Yeah,
That
like
I think
provider
is
caretaker
more.
role.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, my partner wants to say something real quick.
Sure, go
Hey
ahead, let
man,
him
can you hear
speak.
me?
I can. What's up, bud?
So I took I tried to be a psychologist when I first started college, and both of what you all are saying is actually true on what they teach in psychology on attractiveness. So pretty much, women are just supposed to be, just physical bodied, eye candy, birthing, hips, that whole thing. That
It's
and
like the social expectation.
yeah, social expectation. And men are doesn't matter if they're handsome or not. If they have money, that's all that matters. Now, granted,
Socially.
socially, but now we are seeing more of an incline on personality because we are trying to have relationships last beyond just financial means or physical means. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I think so. I've seen some of this. It kind of reminds me of a little story I tell when we talk about masculinity on stream. Is I remember back when I was in high school and I was like big into working out and I would go to the gym all the time with my friends. And there was this one not a girlfriend, we'll say female friend that I had, and she asked if she could like feel my muscles. And I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be so fucking sick. She's gonna like it so much. And I flexed for her and she felt them. And you know what she said? After that, she said, ew.
Which, bro, what?
She said, ew. She was like, I don't
Yo.
really like muscles. I'm like, what the fuck? It's
What
like,
the fuck?
I was working so hard. I felt so good about myself. It was like one of those things where I'd like put on a long sleeve shirt and my like biceps and my triceps would 100% fill fill the sleeves, and I'd feel real good. I'm like, man, I feel great. And I've never forgotten it when she just said ew. She was like, yeah, I'm not into that. And I
Bro.
was like, man. But like it's great to understand that, like, that like idea of you have to be like real big or something isn't something that all women want. I'm not sure if she understood how it made me feel when she just said ew. But I knew she didn't
Yeah,
mean anything by it when she said it, but like, I was like, what the fuck? A little bit in my heart, right? And
that
have
is
you
kind of
heard
fucked up though.
a little bit? What you talked about, it reminded me. Have you heard of this book? It's called A Raisin in the Sun.
Yes.
Yeah. So A Raisin in the Sun, it's really interesting because, while it talks on a lot of race issues as well, the part that's important for this conversation is the masculinity part. Because I remember the father in the show. If you guys don't know what A Raisin in the Sun is, basically it's a book about a black family in like the mid 1900s, doing basically everything they can to like make it by. It's hard for them. They have like a small house and like my bad, like I have like a small apartment, and the dad has to like work a lot, and you have to work through racism and stuff like that, and they're living with like the mom and everything, right? Or he's living with like his mom as well as his wife and the rest of his family and stuff like that, right? But he's always had that idea of wanting and needing to feel validated, to be like a provider, right? And that idea, and there were like back in the day, there were more like things that went into you being like masculine, right? And so he was a cab driver or a chauffeur, if I remember correctly, and that was seen as like emasculating, as like like taking care of other men who are like much more rich and had much more social power. And the idea of not being able to pay and take care of and like care for his family like on his own was incredibly emasculating as well, which was another great part of the book. And I thought that was like really interesting, and that's something that's not talked about a lot, right? And I say it, I've started to say it more. I want to say it even more, but like trans people don't have a monopoly on like gender dysphoria. There are a lot of guys who go through the same thing. And I think your idea of how a lot of guys are pulled in by and we talk about it sometimes as well, when the right loves to heave ho about how much they actually care for and they actually like love men more than the left does. When all the times in which they say that men are because like I think the biggest defeater for that argument, if you've ever used it, is the fact that the most incredible thing that they believe a man can do is to just die, right? You remember that? Like, it's how is a man most respected? When he dies doing something. That's when when he gets rewarded. That's when everybody brings out full honors. It's when he's fucking dead. Even if he didn't accomplish anything, the fact that he just died in the line of trying to do something is the most like badass and masculine thing that you could possibly do. Like, guys like throw their which teaches guys to throw their lives away if they want to be like respected as the men that they like really want to be, right? And I think that's
which is
really
interesting because it is and it's also interesting too because it kind of teaches you to be dumb and just throw away your life for no reason. I have like an older video of this dude I think it comes from like a channel called Warrior Poet Society, where he's basically like lamenting about how like back in the Middle Ages, you know, like if you called a man a coward, it would mean you guys would have to duel to death.
Have to duel for the death to defend your honor. And you're like, that's the dumbest shit I've heard in my entire life.
It's like, are you just like, is masculinity just being fucking stupid as shit? Like, why would you ever want to do that? And then if you're seen as like the smart conniving guy, like it's like
being stupid as shit and dying.
Exactly, you know, because you're gonna fucking lose. Like, I've told my partner this before, and I'll tell any guy that I'm friends with this. Like, if I'm being harassed or some shit, if you don't think you can win the fight, don't fucking fight him. It's better for you to stay safe and for nobody to go to jail than for like, you know, for my honor to get defended over some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's dumb. Don't fight over that kind of thing. It's not worth your time. I don't care if anybody calls you like a pussy for it. Like, you need to take care of yourself. That's one of the most respectable things in man or woman.
Somebody when they say something bad about you, though. Have you ever thought about that?
See, I'm not the only one.
Feels real.
I feel like I feel really like that's what every streamer feels.
Like when I
feel like you're.
What?
I don't know.
What?
I was gonna say I feel like you're talking from experience now. The way you're talking about it makes me feel like you've had a little bit of experience. Oh,
listen, I've fought. I've had to fight for my honor before. It's happened. This weird ass dude back in like 5th grade. This is back when I had dreads, and I asked him to stop touching my dreads politely. And while I was pissing at the toilet, he came up behind me. Well, I was pissing at the urinal. He came up behind me and touched my dreads again. And I was like, okay, it seems like this is what we're gonna have to do. And I zipped up my pants and I started beating his ass. And you know what? And you know what? It felt real good. What? And I went to the principal for it. And I told them what happened, and they told me that I had to sit in the office for like 30 minutes, and then I went back to class, and it felt real good. Okay?
Yo, they try to hit you with the hard one, too. They got you 30 minutes in the office? Bro, you did some time there.
I did have to listen, I did the crime, and I was happy to do the time, but it was like one of those things where it was like formality, like you get in a fight, you have to be like put away. That's just like the no tolerance thing. They were like, yeah, I feel you.
Yeah,
we probably shouldn't like, you know, praise guys for getting into too many fights. That's probably not good for their health or well-being.
Look, you fuck around, you find out, right? If you got to throw down, you got to throw down. It's like sometimes it happens. Girls get into fights too. I'm curious.
I'm way more scared about girls fighting because they don't know when to stop.
Oh yeah. No, I used to take martial arts classes, and this one dude put it really well. He says when dudes get into a fight and you try to pull them apart from each other, they'll just like try and like push past you and keep fighting the dude. If two girls get into a fight and you try to break them apart, they'll turn on you and scratch your eyes out.
Yeah, they'll start fighting you. You're like, what the fuck, bitch? I'm trying to help you.
Exactly.
You know?
Now,
I think it's more
curious.
like I've heard it, and then you can ask your question. But it's like it's more like guys fight until someone wins. Girls fight until like someone dies. or like until someone's real hurt. It's like if one guy like gives up, most of the time the other guy is like, I have won, I have asserted my masculine dominance. Like the girls are, they're just like, they just go until like somebody's really done for.
Yeah, facts.
But go
No,
ahead,
no, no,
ask your
you're
question.
right. Oh yeah, yeah. So when you mentioned Raisin in the Sun, I haven't read that book, but it did jog my memory because I did want to ask you something, and I hope this isn't like, you know, too personal or too
Ask
offensive
me
or
for my
anything.
dick size. It's kind of fucked up. It's a little
I mean, if
personal.
you
We've
want
only
to
talked
give
to each
it,
other.
but that,
We've only talked to each other for a little bit.
I mean, I wasn't gonna ask you, but if you if you want to give it, I'm kidding. But like, my actual question was gonna be like, so I've done a lot. I've had a lot of experience in like hip hop, and in rap. I wouldn't, well, maybe not a lot of experience, but I I gave my best attempt at it for a couple of years, and I met a lot of really really great people. Shout out Juice Lord and L Word. I think you can find them both on Spotify if you're so interested. But basically, like I was around a lot of cis men who, and a lot of them were also black, and I was
True,
wondering,
we love cis men. If you're wondering if I'm
oh
gonna
yeah,
give you like the N-word pass,
no, 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 no. I was gonna ask you if like your experience as a black guy, if that has like
This meme is very
influenced
real.
anything, or if that's given you a different perspective, because hip hop is like, you know, largely a black culture thing, and there is a lot of
that's
men
not true.
in
Ever heard of
rap.
G-Eazy?
I
He's my
have,
favorite
but
rapper.
oh hell yeah, dude.
That's
I
not true.
mean,
I'm
shit,
lying.
like I haven't listened to a lot of G-Eazy, so I'm gonna be real with
That's
you.
probably for the best
I don't
for
know.
you.
If you had said Tom McDonald, I would have like driven over to wherever you live and
This meme
like
is very
slapped you in
real.
the face. But like, you know,
What
I'm
the
glad you
fuck?
did.
He's changing up the rap game.
Yeah, he's changing up the rap game for the worse. Like he
My
has a
goodness.
tattoo on his face that says hog.
Yeah.
I don't
It
know.
should
I
say
don't know how
chud.
much more blatant you can get.
That is
But
pretty. That is pretty lame as fuck. So you're telling me you wouldn't fuck a
yeah,
guy who had a hog on his face?
I would fuck a lot of guys. That is not one of them. No,
Oh my
no.
gosh.
Especially when you're white and you're trying to do the Travis Scott braids. That's just embarrassing,
No.
bro.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I don't know.
Yeah, bro. Like,
Sometimes when white people try to do black hairstyles, their hair just comes out looking like Grinch fingers, and it
oh
just
yeah, dude, it's
it just
bad.
becomes an issue. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just like
bad.
my main issue when it comes to white people doing black people hairstyles is not the fact that they're doing the hairstyle. It's the fact that they're like hurting their hair while they do it. Because
Oh
like,
yeah,
I don't know, you've probably seen girls who get like the JoJo Siwa hairline after they get like braids in and their fucking hair falls out, mostly because they just like black hair can take a lot more abuse than a lot of like thinner white hair can. And so
yeah.
they'll completely destroy their hair. And sometimes
Well,
it won't look even like that great, and it's like, man, you got the worst of both worlds. You just got to be more, you got to love your hair a little bit more than that partner.
yeah. Half the time it doesn't even look good. I'll do you one better. I saw a TikTok once of a girl who like was taking out her box braids or some shit. She was like white as hell, like blonde hair, blue eyes, everything. And she was like taking out her box braids and she was pulling out hair. Like her hair like literally just broke.
Yeah, it was falling
You
out
know.
because what probably happened is that she, and once again, like, I'm not saying that it's bad. I don't even think it looks bad all the time. I think it just looks bad when, for one, you know that it was tied way too tight, and two, when they try and, you know, go a little bit more, like go a little bit harder on it, like they think that they're part black now
Yeah.
that they got the hairstyle. It's that like you can't go, and this goes for anybody else who wanted like cornrows or box braids or anything. Don't stop from getting it because somebody told you that you'd be racist for getting it.
Yeah.
Stop from getting it if you can. If you don't have like a good hairstylist who knows how to deal with your hair and who knows how to put like braids in like thinner white hair. Because if you don't, you're
Bro.
going to fuck your hair up and you're like going to get the LeBron James hairline, and it's going to be very bad for you. Okay, I'm saying this because I love you, not because I want you to stop. Like you, like it's like black people like myself. I have to go to tattoo artists who know how to put tattoos on dark skin, or else they're going to look bad. You need to go to an artist who knows how to deal with white hair with braids, or else they're going to fuck your shit up. Also, like last thing of advice, your hair and your scalp should not be hurting when you're done getting your hair done. If it does, take them out immediately. Okay, so there you go.
That's a good piece of advice. Look, all I'm gonna say is I'm white as hell, and I don't even trust white people with my hair sometimes, bro. Like I'm like half Portuguese, like so my shit gets like a little bit curly.
Oh,
I don't
half
even trust white
Portuguese.
people with my hair, bro.
That's so
Yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah,
That means
yeah.
you're like basically like AOC's brother, right?
Yeah, I can basically say the N word if I want to.
So true. But like when my experiences with being like FD Signifier asked me this when he interviewed me for his video. Actually, like
Mm.
as I'm in the space, I actually haven't received like too much like weird race stuff besides people saying that I'm like Black Shark or like sorry that I'm like Black Hassan or Black Vash. Besides that, it's not too much. I haven't really been called the N word much. It's only been a couple of times.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not.
that's good to that's
Could be
good to
worse.
hear.
Yeah, it could be honestly could be
Yeah.
worse. Uh, and so like one thing I've noticed is like how reactionary like black spaces can be.
Mm.
That's like one thing like because of a lot of reasons and like a lot of historical reasons. A lot of black men feel very protective over their masculinity. One big reason is because they were denied it for so long, and that was like really baked in, and that's sort of like defending your honor, right? And that's kind of like all you
Oh,
have,
yeah.
right? If you're not allowed to like even like own property or like get money or things along those lines, the one thing that you have is your name, and that was like taken from a lot of black people. That's very important. I remember my
Yeah.
dad's name is Aaron, so it's Aaron. I remember he told us stories about how his mother, my grandma, always used to completely go off on people in a way that I feel like other people would think would be unjustified when they spelled and mispronounced my dad's name, right?
Mm.
But in that community, that was a very important thing for names to be right. That means a lot. For you to be like
Yeah.
respected, that means a lot because honestly, you didn't really have much of anything else, right? Uh, and so that's like one thing in particular. I in my personal family, it's gotten better. I have what I suspect to be a gay cousin. I don't want to. We don't have to homophobia post or anything, but I'm just the way he like you could just like smell it. You know what I mean? And he's like kind of like that. Just the way he just carries himself. I'm like I'm pretty sure this boy gay. Um,
Yeah.
he also said that
Yeah, they're
he was about
yeah.
to be put in like an all boys high school, and he said that would be perfect for
Oh
me.
shit.
So I also think that also like plays
Yo.
into the me thinking that he may just be one of them homosexuals, and they don't
That is
really bully
definitely
him.
a flag. That is
Yeah.
definitely a flag. If I were put in an all boys school, like it would definitely be for me too. So I feel your cousin on that one.
Oh no. Um, but but yeah, 100%. So thankfully, my family hasn't been crazy about that. But I know a lot of other families are. Um, and so like I guess the differences in people who who my family like kept around, because even though they weren't like that, obviously they're like other people who are like that, who would be like family friends or something. And that was just like more normalized, that sort of like behavior, and like the toxic masculinity thing, a little bit more misogyny, right? Like that stuff just kind of happens. And so I guess like more like the difference
Yeah.
in the communities was the biggest thing, besides like the way it uh in influenced me a bit. I guess like I just don't think about it that often. So I hate it when I get asked this question, because every time I'm like, I should think about that more. So when I'm asked it next time, I can have a good response. But like in between every time, I always forget. So I don't. So that's just
Well,
like my
yeah,
answer
yeah.
there.
No, I get what you're saying, and honestly, like if you don't have to think about it, I think that's a really good thing. Like I'm not I guess like to some people I can definitely come across sometimes as like a stereotypical like type of white savior type, because I like racial issues are definitely very important to me, and it's not because like I'm out here for myself or like I have some sort of savior complex, but I've seen certain things like firsthand that I don't think many white people can say that they have seen. Not trying to say I'm like one of the good ones or anything like that. It's really
Yeah,
just
you're
like
one of the bad
I had a
ones.
This
niche.
meme is very real.
Yeah, yeah, I really am. Like I had like a bunch of niche interests, and it got me into spaces that like people were like very accepting of me, but they also taught me a lot of things. And a lot of the things that you mentioned I have heard before. This might sound like a very like silly comparison, but um I think that one show that has helped me, I guess, in a sense, empathize with like the emasculation, especially in like Black communities. The way you explained is like ironically, Attack on Titan, when in like the first episode, Aaron Yeager is talking about how humiliating it is to be kept behind walls. Now obviously in that show it's for their safety, which was not the case for like historically in America when it came to slavery. But I found it really interesting that they insisted on using the word humiliating. And
Yeah.
I think that's like that's really interesting. And the fact that that Aaron Yeager like compared it to like being kept like cattle, like I think really like it brings a different perspective to something that most people might see as good, like, oh, like you're kept safe, you're insulated, but you're also in a constant state of vulnerability. um and I have
It's
like
more like
yeah,
at the whims of other people and not having
exactly,
control of
yeah,
your own destiny, which is the big part of like masculinity. The sort of
yeah.
I heard this like great thing recently. It was crap, what was it? It was what's his name? What's the guy, Johnny Appleseed? Is that it? The guy who like the American sort of like folklore, he when he took a step, he could hop over a mountain. And when he dropped his axe, that's when he cut the Great Canyon, like that type of stuff, right? Like that was used
Yeah.
as, yeah, Paul Bunyan. But yeah, it was like the sort of yeah, Paul Bunyan. Thank you. It was the sort of like masculine frontiersman, do it himself. He has his own destiny in his in his hands, and nobody can tell him nothing. And he may be a little bit stupid, and he may not know how to wear a suit, but boy, do he know how to start a fire and build a trap and catch a rabbit, and he could stay alive in the woods better than any senator can. That type of thing, right? And that sort of like
Right.
idea of freedom and being yourself and doing your own thing without, and the sort of self-reliance was big of masculinity, but it was also used by capitalists to take away a lot of things from people that helps them along, right? So that like
Yeah.
sort of, so they weaponize masculinity again to do even today, to do things like taking away sort of like healthcare and social security and government benefits, because that's cringe, and that's for women and for babies and sissies and losers, because real men can just pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and they'll be able to make their own destiny because they're men and they could just do it, right? And so you take that idea and then you weaponize it to do that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to say I'm so glad you brought that up. I actually have that in like my script for like my next, not my next video, but the video after this one I'm about to upload. Like I literally talk about that. I'm so glad you brought that up. Like one of the reasons why like Republicans deny like welfare and like financial aid to families is because of the social expectation that men are just going to take care of it all, and if you don't, you're a failure. So I'm so glad you brought that up. Thank you.
No problem. Is there anything else that you wanted that you wanted to talk about? You felt like we missed. You wanted to hear my opinion on?
I feel like there was something, but I'm going to be honest. I cannot remember what it was. I hope I've answered all of yours though.
Sure. Yeah. No problem.
I hope it made sense. I hope
it was like your experience as like a trans guy in the space, like what you want for like masculinity, what you think about like masculinity. Oh, one more thing that I think I forgot. It was in response to something that you said. I think a lot of it is like not. You said something, but my response was, I think the bigger issue is that we haven't reformed masculinity. You know how like you presented as like a girl for a while and everything, and you were, I would imagine, yeah, you were able to do things like dress in a pretty sundress with like makeup all done and hair all curly and stuff like that. And then the next day you could wear like sweatpants and, well, you could wear like jeans and like a white shirt, and you could just go full like boy mode or whatever, right? And all of that falls very neatly within the bounds of femininity. Nobody would question. I don't think many people question like cis women even today in the not the year of our Lord, where there's so many goddamn homosexuals running around. Not too many people question women when they just dress like boys, right? But if you have a guy and they dress like a girl at any point in time, now this is this is something, right? That was like, whoa,
Yeah.
crazy, right? Like this is really wild because we haven't reformed masculinity at all. We've
Yeah.
torn it down and we know what it isn't, but we don't really know what it like is. Women have the latitude to
Yeah.
dress like just about honestly
real.
however they want and still be seen as maybe not the most feminine, but they're women 100%. Nobody would question that.
Right.
Really. Even when you probably like we're even thinking about identifying more as like a guy, and I would imagine that you had experiences like dressing more like a guy, right? But people would still be like, oh yeah, that's woman. That's a woman. Doesn't really
Yeah.
matter. Like how they dress. But for
Absolutely.
guys, if
Very
they do
real.
things like if you wear like a tennis skirt under your thrasher hoodie and you went skating with the boys, like you're pushing the boundaries. You're insane, right?
Right. And I definitely
And so a lot of
agree
guys
that that-
feel one moment. So a lot of guys feel like really lost because I don't know what is masculinity. Well, a lot of guys are like, I don't know. Like they know what it isn't. Like, oh, try not to rape women, try not to like assault women, try not to make women uncomfortable. Try to be like a good guy. We can do like all that sort of stuff. But what is masculinity? We know what it isn't. We don't know what it really is. And so that's left a big hole for a lot of right wingers to come in and fill with things like being reactionary. That's what being a man is. Oh, all of these things that are taken from you, how difficult it is now, why you can't be able to feel masculine and support your family by like working at Taco Bell and buying a house and stuff like that and sending your kids to college just by like, I don't know, working at Target or something. Oh, that's because feminism, really. And women like will do this and then they'll take this and that from you, and it's all their fault why things are so bad. And why you feel so honestly like gender dysphoric.
This meme is very real.
And without providing them any good like solutions, because they can just use them as toys to build more capital.
Right.
And then throw them away when they like kill themselves or something.
Exactly. And I agree with you. I guess I could say like a few things on what you just said. The first one being that like I think that what makes a strong man also is what makes a strong woman, and I think that's why men and women are equal. Like kindness, compassion, taking personal responsibility. Well, you know, big dick can be from a man or a woman, so I guess you could put it up.
True. You're so
energy.
woke.
Big dick energy, you know, like you gotta have like confidence, kindness, compassion, empathy, understanding, but also like assertiveness and like willingness to take responsibility for yourself and for others, willingness to like be the protector sometimes instead of constantly being protected. I think those are things that like both men like, because I go both ways, you know. I'll sleep with anything that is, you know, able to consent. So you know, I like basically like I can value men and women similarly, and in my opinion like I hold them to a similar standard. So like what makes a strong man in my opinion also makes a strong woman, and vice versa. I think what was interesting about what you said as far as like conservatives and men goes is that you know, like conservatives will often step in and kind of like be the surrogate daddy for a lot of like lost men. But when you look at conservatism, when you look at like conservatism for women, they like kind of try and do the same thing, and it's kind of like it's the same side like pitting people against each other. Yeah, but Abby Shapiro, bro. Like I've made 2 videos on her. And that's way more content than I ever want to see of that woman. But like, first of all,
no,
very
a lot of
big
people
titties.
want to see a lot
Second
more
of all,
content of her, but
oh yeah, but not for her. You know what I'm saying? It's for those big like mommy milkers that she's got, bro. Because like she's fucking. Don't say oh no. I know you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say oh no because I don't want to be canceled. Because now we've moved to the.
Oh no! Am I gonna get you canceled?
You may get me and yourself canceled because people got super weird about Abby and kept posting about her tits, even though she was like, "Please stop! This is making me super uncomfy."
Oh
And
shit. Well, I'm sorry. Well, if Abby, if
no,
you're
no,
watching
like
this, I'm
it's.
sorry. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable.
I think she'll. I think she'll be. I think she'll be okay. Obviously, she wouldn't like it. She's like a. She's like a freaking stay at home. Like
TradCon.
wannabe. Like breed. Like breeding dump. Right. Like she. That's what she.
Yeah.
That's what makes her happy. Right. And you know what? Godspeed. If you want to be filled with many babies and be barefoot in the kitchen, I think honestly, women should have the ability to do that without anybody stopping them.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't know. It's
It
just.
does.
It's
It
just.
is a lifestyle.
It is just be like you. I don't think what you said was too crazy. Just like be a little careful because you'll get some absolute rapscallions who will say some very weird stuff about that woman.
Well, yeah, I definitely don't want people to say anything like weird or like very weird or disrespectful about Abby. Like I have a lot of criticisms of her, but like I still like
But you love
you can
her.
see where her mind is at. I well, if I have to, I will. But
What do you think about her husband?
um, I really hate that you asked that, and I first thought you were asking about Ben Shapiro, which is her brother. So I really hate that
What?
that was the first guy that came to my mind.
Oh
But I don't
no,
know. I don't know her husband. I have never seen him before.
you've never. Wait here.
Hold on.
Can I pull this up? Can I pull up
If you
her
send it to
husband?
me, I can see it.
You got stream pulled up? Oh, you're on your phone, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm on Discord. So if you send it to me on Discord, I'll see it.
Here, I got you. I'll pull up a picture of her and her wife. Her and I was gonna say her
Oh,
wife. I don't know why I said that. Her husband.
I guess we about to find out why. I really do hope I don't get you canceled. I'm not worried about myself, but
No,
oh my
you'll be
god,
okay. I've built up. Oh my gosh, what was that reaction? I think I built up enough
yo,
goodwill to not be canceled already.
okay, good. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, that literally looks like Abby Shapiro in drag. Holy fuck, did she like Photoshop that or something? That literally looks
Are
like
you
her.
talking about her husband?
Yeah, her husband looks like her in drag.
What? What?
Like, but shorter too. Like, holy shit,
Wait
bro,
a second. Let me.
that looks like a girl in drag.
What the fuck? What is this?
All pieces of masculinity going immediately out the window. I'm about to fucking torch this man.
Why are you bullying so hard? After we talk about masculinity and like how we treat men, this is what you do?
My boy looked
You
like
call him a
Ellen
woman?
DeGeneres. Why?
You said he
Got good
looks like
eyebrows?
Ellen? Good
No,
lord.
I'm. All things aside, I do think he does look pretty good looking.
That's
Hey, don't gang up on me now.
You know what? I agree. Like, I'm not sure exactly what he said, but if he's like clowning on you for what you said, that's deserved. You're bullying. You're a bully.
I said he's got good eyebrows and so feminine.
No, it's something about it. Something about the way he's standing. Okay, I'm being a total
You're saying
asshole right
he's
now.
standing gay? The way he's standing is gay?
This meme is very real.
No. The way he's standing is the way Abby would stand if she were wearing a suit.
It was like who was
Good
just
lord.
shorter. He's trying to make himself look taller.
Okay, I'm gonna take the ratio on this one and then just move on with my life. I'm getting canceled
You know
in
what
real
they
life
remind?
right
You know
now.
what they really remind me of? They remind me of a couple that you'd see in BioShock Infinite in New Columbia, like just about to like pelt a black person with like a baseball or something. You know, you know what I mean?
Dude looks like the cult.
Glory to America! Have a great time, fellow patriot. And then they walk away.
Bro, I mean I could see that. No. All things aside, like I was mean initially, but that's just 'cause he's dating Abby. Like he's got the drip. I will give him that much. You know.
Not even dating. He's married. He put a baby in her.
Oh,
That's a lot.
true. Shit.
I haven't impregnated a
Yeah.
woman before, so he's got one up on me at least.
Hey, look. I mean, man's living his best life, and he give him credit where credit's due. He does have a very beautiful wife. Like all things considered.
Listen,
Something about him must have gotten her in, because like I
Listen.
mean his hat, his suit, his tie, like he's looking good.
I'm pretty sure it's like the 1950s vibe, but I'm pretty sure she's also wearing heels there, which makes her taller than him. She is
Yeah.
shorter than him, so.
Oh yeah. No doubt, no doubt. I
Yeah,
mean,
no
like
doubt.
they do look cute together, all things considered.
Yeah.
You know.
I well, like we
Now,
don't
if only
comment
they didn't like.
on the appearance of women, so I can't tell you if she's cute or anything. But I mean, she's definitely a human female.
She definitely is a biologically human female. You know, the kind of thing that I hear a lot on debates that people have with perps.
What?
But
Yeah, 100%.
biological human female. Um, well, I mean, yeah. I hope I've been helpful and that I've answered like all the questions clearly and concisely. I have a
Yeah,
tendency to ramble sometimes, so I really hope that I've never like bored anybody in chat or you
yeah. I think
personally. Like,
I've been reading some of chat. They seem like interested. Hey, chat, is there anything that you wanted to ask him, but before he gets out of here, before he skedaddles?
yeah, what's up, chat?
Because I thought it'd be interesting if they have any questions
Oh
specifically.
yeah, absolutely.
Adult human chicken. I don't know about that. Check this picture out of him. What's this?
Oh,
That's
picture of
him.
me. Oh,
What the heck? Oh no, that's I was like, how did he change so much? Did he fucking polymorph? No, okay. I thought this picture was of him. No, this is Caitlyn Bennett and her husband.
oh no,
Caitlyn Bennett and Abby Shapiro's husbands need to date.
yo.
Oh no. I will say he
Oh,
do
bro.
like now that you mention it, he do stand kind of fruity, but I mean like that's okay. That's fine.
Just a little, but also, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I used to be Catholic. I grew up Catholic, and in my church, there were a couple dudes who both have wives now, but would post really sussy things about about each other on their Instagrams. I remember one dude posted a picture of the both of them once with like a long ass paragraph about how much he loved them as a friend. And I was just like, bro, that's just a little bit fruity. I'm not here to like
What
do
the
the
fuck?
exact thing
We just talked
that you
about
were
how
like,
that's a problem.
I'm just saying if you saw them in real life, you would understand.
Yeah, but I think we've talked about this before, and chat said it was cope, but that just proves to me that they're not straight men. Um, is that the most like when you see like the most homosexuality is where like the most heterosexual boys are. All right, because like
Fair enough.
only when guys are comfortable with each other and they're friends do they act the most gay, and they act more gay than a group of like straight guys will act more gay together than a group of gay guys together.
You know what?
And
You
I
know what?
know this is
You've
100%
convinced
true
me.
because I've never
You've
pissed in a
convinced
toilet
me. I'm
and cross streams with a gay guy before, but I've done that with my boys before.
okay. You know what? You know what? You've convinced me. I'm taking the L and I'm sitting my white ass down and listening.
True, you need to. Fellow transmasculine
Yeah.
wanting to know if social and physical dysphoria is equally strong for him, or if one or the other is stronger. For me, social dysphoria is stronger. Did you get that?
So that's actually the first time I have heard the term social dysphoria before. I'm not sure what that relates to,
So
but
that'd be
I
like
can
in the
say that.
way, I guess like social dysphoria would be in the way that you're treated in society, and physical dysphoria would be like your body itself.
So okay, thank you. That definitely clarifies. I would say I can't. I don't know how much I can speak to social dysphoria because the only time I really socialize with people is at my job, which is mainly just customers asking me random questions and then me giving them the answers and then being by myself until another customer comes along.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say that I think being able to use the men's bathroom and stuff at my job has definitely helped with the social dysphoria. I do get weird looks sometimes. Sometimes people call me ma'am, and that definitely does like, bother me to a certain extent, but mainly because it makes me wonder if I'm doing enough.
Have
So it's
you
like
thought about just? I feel like it would fix your dysphoria if anytime somebody says that you go, "What the fuck are you talking about? Are you calling me gay?" And then you challenge, and then you like threaten to fight them.
you know what? I would do that if I didn't have so much at stake with my job. I will say I think I will say one thing that does scare me a lot socially is being caught on video in like a slightly emotional mentality because of whatever I might be going through in the day, and then being put in an SJW cringe compilation or something like that. That is a
Ah,
genuine thing that like I've been afraid of. I feel like maybe a lot of other trans people might back me up on this,
mhm.
but there's definitely a fear of being that trans person. You know
I
what I
think
mean? Um,
ContraPoints made a video about that, like the "It's Ma'am" situation
yeah,
and her like just genuine reaction to that. And I feel like a lot of trans people go through that. I feel like a lot of minorities go through that. They don't want to be seen as like, they don't want to be labeled as like the stereotype bad minority.
I've definitely heard of that for different minority groups. And I can say, as far as I'm concerned, it's definitely been the experience for me as a trans person. I will say, I think physical dysphoria has been the worst part of it because it has to do with your own self image and who you see when you look in the mirror. I think Elliot Page put out like a really great quote where he said now that he's transitioned, he finally is able to see himself in the mirror when he looks at himself, and that is
Mhm.
like a really good way to put it because there's such a disconnect with your body up until that point, and when you're finally able to like look at yourself in the mirror and say like, hey, like I know who that is now and I'm happy with that, like that is definitely a good feeling. So I will say that at least for me the physical dysphoria has definitely been worse, but who knows, as I go along maybe the social dysphoria will kick in more too.
Sure, 100%. Also, somebody
Hell
said
yeah.
that like Abby Shapiro's husband looks like he belongs at the Kentucky Derby with a mint with a mint julep and a betting slip. And you know what? That's the truest shit I've heard in my
Yo,
entire life. That is the truest shit I've heard in my
bro,
entire life.
hold
He
on, I'm
looks
trying to go
exactly like
back
that.
to his picture. Yeah, he does. I'm still saying something about his face looks like very. I don't know. It could just be me. I still think he looks a little bit like a girl, but you know what? There's nothing wrong with that, and I still think he's valid. So
Uh
yeah.
well, we have more what um if it helps him, I'm AMAB and I get mammed on the phone. I'm not sure if I've talked about it too much. I've been misgendered in real life a couple of times
Oh
actually.
shit!
I have.
Damn.
That's true. I remember back when I was at 4-H. Do you know what 4-H is?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like a, for other people who don't know, it's more of a like summer camp activity, sort of like get like parents send you to like get the fuck away from them for the summer. You can like do some things, you can meet people, you can socialize, stuff like that, right? That's where I made we there was a I took a leatherwork class when I was there, so I know my way around some leather now, and that was pretty fun. But
Oh
I remember
shit.
when, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, but I remember I got into my room and I got to my room first, and they said what we got briefed and they said no purple. You know what that means?
No. What does that mean?
No purple means, well, boys are blue and girls are pink, and so no purple. So you can't be, so a girl and a boy can't be
Oh,
in the same room together, especially alone. And
yo.
so and so I was just in the room. I was pogging. I was doing my own thing, right? Were you in Young Life? I don't know, maybe. But I was just doing my own thing. And then my roommate comes in for the first time. He opens the door and I didn't look at him, but I know I could feel him like burning a like hole in the back of my head, just staring at me, right? And so I still didn't say anything. I was just chilling. Is this the wall? Fuck, it's the kill pillars. Anyways, he was just like staring at me and everything, and I waited. It felt like 5 minutes, but I know for a fact it was probably like 30 seconds. Um, and I was like, hey, and he was like, oh, sorry, I thought you were a girl. I'm like, what the fuck?
Bro.
What are you
Yo.
talking about, man? Are you insane?
No.
I just had long hair. I just had my locks in, my dreads, and that was it. I don't think I really look like a girl much, but I mean, I guess he disagreed, and and he was like, oh yeah, sorry, dog. Thought you
That's
were a
fucked up.
girl. It was a little fucked up. I was like, what the hell? And so that was my first experience seeing anybody at 4-H. Really, it was my first like real experience with any of the kids getting
I
hecking
think
misgen. What the fuck? I'm gonna I can't say that. I can't say that on Twitch. Wait, take a deep breath.
deep breath, bro. Don't don't
Anyways,
go don't go PewDiePie on everybody.
yeah, I was about to cross the bridge. It was not good. Um
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, I've had it
Anyway.
before. Or when I was at McDonald's and I opened the door for this old couple, and the husband was like, "Thank you, young miss," and I'm like, what the fuck's happening?
Oh shit. Yo, that's
Like,
fucked up,
what are
bro.
you talking about, dog? What are you talking about, old man? I,
Yeah.
I'm a boy.
Hey, listen, I gotta run and tell my father-in-law good night, but I really appreciate this chat, and I hope we can talk again soon. This has
Sure,
been a lot of
yeah.
fun.
It has been great. I've been wanting to get a trans mask voice on the call on the stream for a while. So thank you for
Hell
plugging
yeah,
that hole
man.
for me.
Thank
And
you.
while
I'm
you're
always willing to
plugging,
plug your holes.
thank you. And while you're plugging, can you plug yourself again?
Yeah, absolutely. My channel is Power Bottom Politics, and my Twitter is P Bottom Politics. I have a Discord server. I don't know the link for that, but I literally made it today, so it'll be a while till it's like up and running. My Twitch is under the same name as my Twitter, I believe, but I haven't posted anything on there yet. So, yeah, that's me. And thanks guys for listening and for having me on, Shark.
Sure. It was great. Take care of yourself, and I hope you have a great night. Thanks for coming on again.
You too, man. Thank you.
No problem. Take care of yourself.
Peace.